Welcome back to MJL 3764 collecting Elvis on vinyl. Today I thought we'd take a look at another 70s album. So let's pick one and let's pick That's the Way It Is. That's the Way It Is was released in 1971 and reached number 12 in the UK album chart. And first released in the UK, it came with a front laminated cover, looking like this. Great cover, I thought, even though it is black and white. I think that's a great shot of Elvis. Features 12 tracks, 6 each side. Back side looks like that. Of course, the album was called Elvis That's the Way It Is to tie in with the film, but as most fans know, the track listing doesn't represent the film at all, really. There's 4 live tracks on here. I Just Can't Help Believing, Patch It Up, You've Lost That Loving Feeling, and I've Lost You. Most fans know that Bridge Over Troubled Water is a studio cut with just applause added at the end. Some of these songs you do hear in the film, in different versions. I Just Can't Help Believing is the same as the film, but there's an added gong at the end for some reason in the film. Patch It Up, I believe, is edited in the film, and You've Lost That Loving Feeling and I've Lost You are different versions in the film than the ones featured on this album. So that's the back side. On the gloss orange label. Another copy here, exactly the same, 71 pressing. As you can tell, it says side 1 stereo on the top. And when issued again in 1977. It's just got the sides on the top, no stereo. And it's in a slightly darker orange. That's a 77 pressing, which was my original copy, which I bought in 77. I was only 12, that's why I stuck a sticker the way it was on the LP. You live and learn. In 81, it was issued again. I've now gone back to the glossy cover. 77 was a matte cover. It's glossy both sides. And it's on the black RCA label. And this was issued in 82 on the black RCA label as well. And the differences here, you can see above the spindle hole is 4 up. 4 tracks. That's the 81 pressing. The 82 pressing. This one's now in a matte cover. As you can see, is 5 up. 5 tracks above the spindle hole. So that's how you can tell the difference between the 81 and the 82 pressing of That's the Way It Is. In 1984, it was issued on the New German Black label, featuring a slightly darker cover, but glossy both sides. And it's now got the barcode at the top. And the label looks like that. Next copy is front laminated. This was widely available in the UK, as we said earlier, there was a 71 press and a 77 press, nothing in between that one. So this one was widely available in the UK. It's a Canadian copy from 74. And it's on the orange. Also got a Japanese copy here. I think we showed this when we showed the Japanese releases, so I'll quickly go through it. It's got the OB, the gatefold, on the orange. It's got a completely different back picture. One taken from the on tour time. And the gatefold looks like that. I think there's another page there, which I can't get hold of. I believe we've seen that one on the Japanese releases. Before we take a look at the vinyl singles, it was of course released extensively on CD. First copy looking like that. Original album. Of course it was issued on FTD as a double disc with lots of outtakes and a nice booklet. It's also issued as a free CD set, looking like that, with a complete show and some rehearsals. That's the 3 discs and the booklet. FTD released this book and CD, which it was a lot of money, and for what you get, I think it was a bit. The information's great inside, but as you can see, the pictures are like tiny pictures, and they're just stills from the film, really. So I wasn't too enamoured with this one, but it did have a CD of rehearsals, which we didn't have at the time. So that's an FTD release, book and CD. This was a great release. I recommend this to anyone. 8 CDs, 2 DVDs. And I'll let you pause for the listings there. You're basically getting 6 shows, 1 CD of the original album plus singles and a few outtakes, and a CD of rehearsals, and 2 DVDs, and the lovely book that goes with it. Fantastic release, this one. I'd highly recommend it. Yes, there is a lot of duplication of material, but these shows are really great shows, and it's very nicely done, of course. Expensive, but to me well worth it. And there's the DVDs. And of course it is available on the 60 CD version, and the original albums, also that CD. There's also this release here, again very, very expensive, very heavy. This one I can't show you as it is still sealed, this one. I am denied about getting this release, to be honest, as it was quite expensive. And I had a lot of the material already on bootleg. The quality has been improved somewhat, but Elvis is off mic a few of the times, and they are just rehearsals, so it is a bit raggedy. I never thought this would actually see the light of day as an official release, to be honest. But it is out there. And if you've got the money, it's a nice set. That's the way it is. Was available on video and DVD. This is my original video copy. And here's an early version, the DVD copy. And here's a latter version, which is exactly the same versions as you get there. You get the original 1970 version of the film, and you get the 2001 special edition of the film. I've got a bit of a problem with this one. It does say features over 40 minutes of never seen outtakes. I've never timed it, but there's certainly no extra 40 minutes on there, especially when you take into consideration stuff like In the Ghetto and The Wonder of You, and Just Pretend. These were available before on the Lost Performances, so they weren't actually unseen. So a lot of the material in the new 2001 was actually seen before. There was some songs that we hadn't seen, and it was nice to get the concert on its own at the end without the fans talking in the middle. But to me, cutting out 4 songs, adding songs and then taking away Bridge Over Troubled Water, I just can't help believing I've Lost You and Sweet Caroline, to me is absolutely ridiculous situation. They should have all been in the film as well. So another golden opportunity wasted, in my opinion. You can actually see on the second disc, you can actually see the original film if you want to, but they haven't cleaned it up. There's still the swirl on That's Alright, the tape swirl. So maybe if they would have cleaned this disc up, the 70 version, it might have been a bit more acceptable. But to me, no. Should have been done better. The first single lifted from the album in 1970 was I've Lost You, backed with The Next Step Is Love, which reached number 9 in the UK singles chart. And this was a mono single. And of course, I've Lost You is the studio version, not the version found on the That's the Way It Is LP. That's a 4-prong. And there's the dink copy for the jukebox. I've Lost You. The next single release, also in mono, was You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, backed with Patch It Up. And again, Patch It Up is not the version on the That's the Way It Is album. This is the studio version featured on the single, the live version on the album. This also reached number 9 in the UK singles chart in 1970. And that's the jukebox copy. Now, around a year later, in 1971, due to popular demand, I Just Can't Help Believing was issued on a single, backed with How the Web Was Woven. Here's a 4-prong single, jukebox copy, and it is available in solid as well. Slightly different solid. You can look at the circle there in the middle, and on this copy the circle's slightly bigger. It's reached number 6 when issued in 1971. You can also get compilations of the singles like this one, I Just Can't Help Believing, backed with Bridge Over Troubled Water on the Golden Grooves label. That's the Way It Is. Certainly one of my most favourite Elvis albums, easily in my top 10, certainly in my top 5. All great tracks, couldn't really pick the best track. I'm glad fans do appreciate this album, even the ones that like the up-tempo numbers, as this is quite a ballad-heavy album. Again, only Patch It Up is the fast track really. Stranger in the Crowd, The Next Step Is Love bounce along quite nicely. My favourites on this album though would be the ballads How the Web Was Woven, Just Pretend, and I Just Can't Help Believing. The vocals on these tracks are absolutely outstanding. Fantastic album. Thank you for watching. Till the next time, just remember, while there's music, life's no waste.